Welcome back guys, welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial I will show you guys how we can create this cool text effect in Adobe Illustrator. This is not a static text effect, this is an editable text in here. You can change the text the way you want, or you can also use the same style for other objects in Illustrator as well. Alright guys, so let's see the steps one by one. Alright, so in here we have a large rectangle which is covering the artboard. You guys can see in here in layers, it's just a rectangle with a gradient fill. I have applied the radial gradient for this rectangle. We can use this as a background. Alright, so let's lock this rectangle so we won't have any issues while we were working on the actual artwork. To lock this rectangle, go to Objects and Lock Selected. Or you can simply press Ctrl 2 in your Windows keyboard. Alright, so the next step is let's go to the text tool and type something in here. I'm going to type pop. Let's keep it as the example earlier. For this font effect, I have chosen a very thick font face with a heavier font weight so that the final design will look nicer with the 3D and perspective effect. Next step, we have to remove this fill color from this font, which is coming from the default fill in Illustrator. So you can just simply select the fill color and deselect. Now we don't have any fill or stroke from Illustrator in here. Next step, you need to have this appearance window. This is very important. This effect is done with this appearance palette. To get this palette, you can go to Windows and on the appearance palette from here. Okay, all right. Now, if you guys go to this appearance palette, you can see we have all the appearances which are applied to this object. Now we have a type, character, and opacity. Since there is no fill or stroke, the opacity is invisible. And below, you can see we can add in a stroke, and we can add a fill, and next to it we have the effects window. If you go to this effects, you can find all the effects which you can find in this effects window. Okay, all right, if we go back to our original design, what we are going to do in here is going to design these layer by layer. In here we have 4 set of layers. One, these lines, and then we have this yellow solid area and a pink or purple solid area. On top we have these dots with a glass effect. I'm going to start from this area first, from this 3D depth, and then we can continue with the yellow color and dots and so on. After that we can move to other places. Okay, right, now let's go back. Now first thing we need in here is a fill color for this type. So let's create a new fill from here. Once you create a new fill in this appearance palette, you can go to the fill colors in tools and change the color. For example, if you change this color to orange color, you can just simply select and apply. This color is actually applying to this fill effect in here. Okay, so this is the first step and our first fill color. Now we can have multiple fill colors or strokes in the appearances. That's how we are going to create this text effect. Let's add a new fill in here. To change this fill color, you have to select this fill in here. You can select the fill from this swatches list, which is actually coming from this swatches list. Or you can simply select this in here and go to the fill color in the tools, and you can change the color and apply to it. But now if you guys see, fill color in here has been changed, but in here you still see this orange color. It's because this fill is behind this fill. So this will also work like layers in here. So whichever comes on top will be on top, and then the one behind it will be behind in here, same as the layer order. So we can simply select this and drag on top of this fill. Now you guys can see the yellow color on top. Alright, now to see the orange fill color in here, you have to move this yellow fill towards horizontally or vertically. By doing so, you can get that 3D text look in here. This can be done with the transform effect. Alright, let's apply the transform effect. So you have to select the fill color first, and then we can go to effects. In here we can use distort and transform and select the transform effect, which will bring the transform effect tool in here. So we can use the move transform effect and move this yellow color towards X or Y axis, or horizontally or vertically. For now, I'm just going to move towards horizontally, and I'm going to enter maybe 10 pixel, and we can on the preview and see. Now you can see the yellow fill color is moving 10 pixel towards right side. Okay, let's make it like 25. Okay, this look fine. Now I need to do the same for the top portion in here. To do that, we can go to the vertical and move it to 25 pixel below. Okay, now you can see the side and the top. All right. Okay, this look perfect. I'm just going to select OK in here. All right. Now, if you guys remember, on top of this, we also add some dots. To get that dots, we need to create a pattern. So let's create that pattern in here. You can go to the tools and select an ellipse and draw a circle, very small circle in here. And you guys can select this. To create pattern, you can go to object, pattern, and make patterns. Okay, which will bring the pattern maker window. In here, you can give a name. I'm going to say dots small. For the tile, we can stick to the grid. And for the width and height, let's make it a little bit bigger. So the gap will be bigger, maybe 25. And in here also 25. Maybe let's make it a little bit more bigger. Since these are connected, we can simply enter a 35 value in here, which will update this in here as well. Okay, so this grid look fine, but maybe let's change it to something else. Let's change it to brick by column. So now we have a pattern, something like this in here. All right. Okay. So once you create the pattern, you can simply close this. Okay. And close this one in here. Now we can select this dot and delete it. So once you create the pattern, your pattern will be saved in the swatches. You can see our dot small is in our swatches. So now we have to go in here, select this effect and select this fill. Now we have to create a dot fill on top of this fill. You can do that, or simply you can select this fill and go in here and click on this plus icon, which will duplicate this fill. Okay, since we are not going to move the fill, we can just simply make a copy, and then we can go to this fill color, which will open these swatches in here. From this list, I'm going to select this dot. Okay, now if you think these dots are a little bit bigger, or if you want to do any modification, you can easily do that. All you need to do is go to the swatches in here and double click to open the pattern. In here, you can make the changes for your pattern. In this case, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. All right. Okay, we can leave that one for now. But in our earlier version, you saw our effect in a perspective angle. To do that, you can select this and go and apply a 3D effect from this 3D and materials. But if you apply that to this fill color, it will only apply that for this fill color. So you have to select this again and select the type. If you select any other stroke or fill in here, it will only apply to that fill or stroke. Okay, so you have to be careful in here. All right. Now I'm going to select the effects and I will go to the 3D materials, and in here we can select this rotation. But with this rotation, there will be a material involved. So you may find the colors are a little bit different. So what I will do is I will go to the 3D Classic, and in here I will select the rotation. Okay, so this is a very simple rotation. We can stick to this basic rotation, and now we can use this 3D cube and rotate this the way we want. Or you guys can also go in here and select a preset from this list. For an example, isometric right, and so on. but I'm going to make my own angle. We can simply select this and move something along this line. Okay, so I think this angle is fine and I'm going to select OK. Alright, now just for design purposes, I'm going to make it a little bit wider. This look like it has been squeezed in. So let's go into effects. Make sure you're selecting the type and then go to effects. In here again, I'm going to the distort and transform and select the transform effect. Alright, in here I'm going to scale this one but only towards horizontally. So instead of 100%, let's make it like 120%. You can on the preview. Now this look better. Okay, so now I can see it's looking more symmetrical. Alright, okay, so I think this maybe we can even increase a little bit more, maybe like 130. Okay, perfect. This look even better. Alright, I like this. I'm just going to select OK. Alright, so let's expand this a bit. This looks fine, but if you guys notice, once we change the angle, we have a problem with 3D depth. If you want something like this effect, it's fine. But if you are looking to create a 3D depth with this effect, you can see in these areas, in here also, we have a problem. In here, we need to cover this area. It should be solid, but because we only have two objects, two fill colors, just placing on top of each other, we have this gap. So we have to fix this. We have to change the way this placement work. We can do that very easily. First, I will go to this fill effect in here, which is this dots. Let's hide this first. Now in here, we can go back and go to the transform tool. And instead of making it move 25 pixel, what I will do is I'm going to select this and make it move only 5 pixel. Same in here as well. I will make it move only 5 pixels. Okay. All right. This look okay, but we need that depth. To create that depth, what I will do in here is I will go to this copy and make like 25 copies. If I go back and select this, you can see now it's look like we have this 3D depth. But still with this 5 pixel depth, you can still see that dots in here. So I will go in here and select 1 pixel. Same for this one in here as well, 1 pixel. Okay, so now we have moved 1 pixel and created 25 copies. So basically we have moved 25 pixels towards horizontally and vertically, right? But this has to be the 3D depth. So I will select this and apply this color, which is this orange color. You can just double click to open and make a copy. And now you can select this and apply the orange color in here. Okay, so now we have this orange color which is supposed to be that depth. Alright guys, understood? Now what we need to do is we need to create that yellow face, yellow fill color. To do that, we can select this text and go to this fill. On top of this fill, we have to select a new fill color, or we can simply copy a fill from here. But let's create a new fill first. And for this, I will apply the yellow color, which is this one in here. Okay. All right. But now we have to move this towards X and Y to have that 3D look. Move this towards 25 pixel and 25 pixel. So select this again, go to effects and go to distort and transform and apply a transform effect. In here, now we have to give 25 pixel towards horizontally and 25 pixel towards vertically. Okay, now if you apply this in here, you can see we have this 3D depth in here. All right guys, so in here we have 25 copies with the 3D look, and on top we have this yellow color fill, and we don't need this fill, which is the fill we used to create the 3D look earlier. We don't need that anymore, so we can simply select this and delete it. So we have one fill in here, which is this 3D look fill, and then on top we have this yellow color fill, and on top we have this fill, which is the pattern fill. Okay, if you on the pattern fill, now in here we have 3 types of fill, which is creating this cool effect. Okay, so this part you guys need to understand, then only we can move forward. All right. Okay, Next step is creating this second set of fill color, which is this pink color in here. I'm going to hide this first, lock this. Okay, so we are going to create this part in here. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to select this yellow fill in here and make a duplicate from this fill. So you have to select the yellow fill and let's make a duplicate and let's bring this on top of this dot pattern. Okay, so let's bring it in here, and for this we have to change the color. Let's go in and I'm going to change this color to maybe a darker tone, something like this. It's fine, we can always change the color later, guys, don't worry about it. And in here now we can go to the transform and we have to bring this towards outwards. Okay, bring it towards horizontally and vertically. So let's bring it towards to the left first, maybe 85, and also for the vertical I'm going to enter 85. Okay. All right, so now we have the second set of layers in here. All right, again we have to create that 3D depth like we did in here, but we already applied the transform effect in here. We cannot modify this transform effect, so we can apply a new transform effect. So you can apply any number of transform effect to a certain fill or stroke. So we can go back in here to the effects, go to distort and transform and apply a transform again. Illustrator will ask, do you need a new effect? Say yes. Now we have a new transform effects. In here again, I'm going to make this one as 1 pixel and 1 pixel and 25 copies. Okay, and press OK. Now we have created the second depth. You can edit the number of copies in here as well. So let's go in here and make it like 35 or maybe 45. Okay, and press OK. All right, so now we have 45 copies with 1 pixel gap. All right, okay, so I'm just going to close this fill. Next step, we have to create the face for this pink or the dark color pop. I'm going to make a copy from this one, a duplicate, and then we can just simply go in here and select this copy transform and delete it. We don't need this. Then we can select this and change the color. Let's bring it a little bit right, something like that. Okay, so this is fine, but we have to move to the correct place. So select this transform again. So in here, from this position, we have to move 45 pixels this way and 45 pixels this way. So we have to enter plus 45 in here, and same with this one also, plus 45 in here, and enter. Okay, now we have moved this to the last copy of our previous section. Alright guys, okay, so I'm just going to select OK. Next step is creating these lines. Okay, these lines in here on top of these faces. For this, I'm going to draw a rectangle in here. Okay, and let's change the color to something very light. You can make it smaller like this, and I'm going to make a couple of copies. This one even more thinner, and this is going to be even more thinner like this. Okay, all right, now we can place this in here and make them as little bit thinner. Okay, I think like this is good enough. Okay, so let's select this and make it as a pattern again. Go back to object, pattern, and make pattern, and we can make this as lines. And this time I want to have a big gap in between, so we cannot keep the width and height connected. Width is fine. For the height, I'm going to make it like 500. Okay, yeah, something like this is fine. Okay, we can always come back and adjust. So we can just close this, and I'm going to delete these. We don't need these anymore. Delete them. All right, now select this, and in here I'm going to select this fill, which is the lighter fill in here, and make a duplicate. And for this, instead of a solid color, I'm going into the swatches and I will select these lines in here. Okay, all right, This look okay, but we have to rotate the lines. And in here, let's go to the effects, distort and transform. Again, I'm going to apply a transform effect. Apply a new transform effect. This time we have to rotate this pattern. So if I make an angle in here, let's say 45-degree angle, you guys can see the entire shape is rotating. We don't want that. We have to transform the pattern only. So you have to select the pattern and deselect the transform object. So now we are only rotating the object. Okay, so this is what we wanted. Now we can simply select OK. And then in here, we can go to the opacity and bring down the opacity. Okay, maybe around 40% or 45% is fine. All right, guys. Okay. Next, we are going to create these dots. Okay, these dots in here. And again, we can close this. This time I'm going to make another copy from this fill color, duplicate and bring it in here. And for this fill, we have to have those white dots. Then we can go in and select the ellipse and draw a circle and change the color to white. All right. And for these dots, we can change the color for now. Okay, I'm going to have a dark color, because if we have a white color, there is a problem. I will show you guys the problem. If you have the white color and if you go to objects and go to the pattern and make pattern, in here you guys see we are not able to see the white color because of the background. Okay, so let's change the color in here to something else. Now we can adjust the pattern first. So I will go in here and select the brick by row and then increase the width and height in here, maybe 100, and for the height also I'm going to make it 100. All right. Okay, so this look okay. Maybe it's too much. Let's make it like 65, and in here also 65. Okay, this is okay. We can always adjust back later. In here I'm going to say dots and big. Now we can change the color in here as well to white color. Okay, all right, we can select this and delete. Now if you select this, in here we can go to the swatches and select the dots from here. All right. Okay, so this look okay, but dots are too close to each other and the dots look a little bit bigger. So we can double click to open this effect pattern and make the size of this dot little bit smaller, somewhere around here. Okay, and maybe a little bit bigger. You guys can always edit this and check out how it will look with your artwork. Okay, yeah, I think this look fine. All right, again, for these dots also I need the displacement, so we can go in here and apply a new transform, or you can use this transform in here as well. Again, I want 45-degree towards this way and 45 towards this way, so I'm going to make plus 45 in here, and this one also plus 45 in here. All right. Okay, so looks good, but we also need a stroke in here. So we have to remember this number. We have used the transform with 175 pixels. So let's select OK. And then on top of this fill, I'm going to apply a stroke. Or we can use this stroke in here as well. So let's select a color. And in here, I'm going to select the white color. And then maybe 5 pixels is fine. Now we have to place this stroke in the correct place. So you can select this and apply the transform effect in here. Go to transform and select transform. And in here we have to select 175 and here also 175. Okay. Now you can see we have moved that line in here as well. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to close this in here. Now I'm going to create this glass effect. To do that, we need a gradient swatch. So let's create that gradient swatch. Let's create a rectangle in here. And for this, we don't need any stroke. And for the colors, I'm going to select blue color, something like this in one side, and we need a white color as well, but let's make it like yellow. And towards this side, I'm going to make it like a red color. Okay, so we can adjust that later as well, but let's create this and go to the swatches. Let's create this one as a new swatch. You can make it like glass. Okay, and apply. All right, so now we have this new swatch in here. Now we can delete this and select this and go to the fill, which is this dot fill in here, and I'm going to make a new copy. Duplicate this. Now select the one below which you copied from, and in here, instead of the dot, I'm going to select this gradient which we have created. All right, now we can go to the opacity of that fill. In here, I'm going to make this one as overlay, and for the opacity, I'm going to make as 50%. Maybe let's make it as 75%. All right, finally, let's create these lines in here. So we can go in here and select this fill and make a duplicate, and this time I'm going to select the fill below, and let's draw some lines. First, I'm going to draw some lines in here. For this, let's change the color to a dark blue color, and we can stick to this size. Maybe let's go to properties and make it 5 pixel is fine. All right, now select this and go back to objects. In here again, I'm going to make a pattern. Okay, and for this, I'm going to make this as lines, and grid is fine. And for the height, let's make it like 25, maybe 10. Yeah, this look better. So I'm just going to close this. Now we can delete this, and in here you can go to this fill. Instead of the fill color, I'm going to select the lines from here. And for the transform effect, I'm going to make this 0, and the movement make it minus 25, and this one also minus 25, and okay. And if you guys want to rotate this pattern, again you can apply another transform effect in here. Go to distort and transform, a new effect, and in here you can give 45 degrees for the pattern. Okay guys, cool. Now we can go and edit this text, whatever text we want. Okay, so once you finalize with your design, you can save this one as a style and recall for any text as well. So I will give you guys an example. If you want to save this one as a style, you can just simply select this, and you need the styles open in here. So go to Windows and select the graphic styles, which is this one in here, and then you can go to your appearance panel. Again, in here you can see this effect next to the type. All you need to do is just drag and drop this to the style, which will create a new style in your graphic style. Now it doesn't necessarily be a text, you can have even a shape as well. So let's say if I have a circle in here, you can simply select this. Because of my current selection, this is appearing in here, so you can just simply select this and click on this style, which will then apply this style for this shape. And if you want to make any changes, again you can go to this appearance and make these changes. Okay guys, all right, so that's all about it for today, and thank you for watching. See you guys in the next tutorial.